And now, Innocent Bystander presents Doing Stuff to
Rhubarb. Well, I guess the first thing to do is find enough rhubarb that's sized reasonably enough to chuck in a pot. You can get these at your local supermarket, or like me, you can just rip them out of your garden. Because rhubarb grows pretty close to the ground, when it rains hard, the dirt splashes back up on the rhubarb, so make sure you wash it thoroughly because you don't really know what's in that dirt. Oh, and in case you didn't notice, I have cut off the leaves. The reason being, the leaves are poisonous. Don't eat the leaves. Don't let your pets eat the leaves. Don't give those leaves to anybody. Okay, so what we're going to try today is the simplest thing I can think of, stewed rhubarb. There are lots of different recipes for this online. I didn't like most of them because they had stuff I didn't have in the cupboard. So I picked one with ingredients I had handy. Although it did call for lemon juice, I don't have any lemons or lemon juice, so I just cut that out. Rhubarb's sour enough without adding lemon to it anyway. And it seems kind of pointless adding the sugar if you're just going to chuck in lemon. So while I'm slicing the ends off here, I'll explain the recipe to you. It's 500 grams of diced rhubarb, 160 grams of sugar, a couple of tablespoons of water. Stir until it's stewed. That's pretty much it. There was some lemon juice in there, but I'm not using it. And there's a link to the recipe in the description. Now we're not going to get 500 grams out of the rhubarb we just harvested. So the next step is to chop it up into bits, half an inch to an inch long, and chuck it on the scales to see how much we've got, and adjust the rest of our recipe accordingly. Now it's best to use a sharp, heavy, straight-edged knife here. I don't have one, so I'm trying my best with what I've got. Serrated edges suck with rhubarb. It's really hard to read these scales, I've got to get some new ones, but it looks like about 250 grams. What that means is that we're going to have to halve the rest, which means about 80 grams of sugar, 1 tablespoon of water. Although we don't have to be too accurate with the water. Any excess will evaporate as it's cooling down anyway. Now because we had the rhubarb in the scales first, some of the sugar's stuck to it, so we'll just put that 2 tablespoons of water into the scales, give it a little bit of a swish, and then tip the sugary water into the rhubarb. Now rinse the scale pan out straight away. You want to get the sugar out of there before it turns rock hard but doing the dishes afterwards would just be a nightmare. And the rhubarb will definitely stain your cutting board, so give that a bit of a rinse too. Now you're going to be doing quite a bit of stirring periodically through the cooking process, but you're going to want to cook it with the lid on. So you want to make sure you've got something clean to put your stirrer on. And I've got to suggest a wooden spoon for the stirring because, it's not going to get hot and burn your hand. So we're pretty much just going to heat up the rhubarb until it turns to mush, but we're going to stir it quite often so it doesn't stick to the pot, and we're going to put the lid on in between stirs so that it heats up that much faster. Now I haven't got the finished dish prepared in advance, and I am recording this in real time, so if you want to skip to the end, it's at 11 minutes 30. And for those of you that are going to tough it out and enjoy watching the pot boil, I'll be entertaining you with the soothing sounds of Kevin MacLeod, which I downloaded from Incompetech. There's a link in the description. This one's called Leopard Print Elevator. Look at that mush. It's perfect. Beautiful. It's still a little bit runny, so we're going to let it sit a bit, and then we'll get back to it. Might actually be better with the lid off. That way it'll let the steam out and that excess water will evaporate. I believe champagne would be the best drink for this occasion. It's also the only alcohol I have in the house right now. Now this tastes great with a lot of things. I usually eat it warm out of the pot with ice cream. The recipe suggests baked mascarpone cheesecake. Hot or cold, I'm not sure. Sometimes I leave it in the fridge overnight and spread it on my toast. Any other suggestions are welcome. Now that was really nice and it surprised me because usually I have vanilla ice cream with it, but chocolate was beautiful. And the champagne, perfect. I didn't expect that either. I thought it'd be gross.